Dear Diary, this is part 9, we believe, of the 99 story. How my life savings was stolen, my art factory of 7 years was stolen, and hundreds of other crimes I was the victim of, and the government's response was, why don't we arrest the victim over and over again? Why don't we try and frame an innocent man over and over and over again? So, we were just finishing up a couple of examples of how the DA lies to judges. So, I used to be naive like you and think that, no, there's some good in the world. There isn't. And you're going to learn it. Why do you think old people are so cranky and bitter? It's because they lived life. They got to the end and they said, the whole thing was a lie. Everything was a lie. It was shit. I struggled for 80 years for nothing. Wow, that sucked. That's why I have a song called Old People Are Cranky, parentheses, because they're smarter than you. So they flat out lied to the judge about needing an order of protection for David, their star witness. My lawyer put up no fight. The judge granted the order of protection. Now that's dangerous because now all David would have to do, since I'm suing him, is he can put me in jail anytime he wants. All he has to do is pay to come to any show I'm playing in. He'd already helped both Harry and Delfino do that same dirty trick. And you'd be right to say, everyone says the same thing too. They'll say, that's crazy. No, I mean, you get arrested. If they came to your show and paid and you got arrested, well, you know, how are they going to fucking scam that? Like, oh, they don't have to scam it. I'll have my right to tell my side of the story 2-3 years later. It just destroyed my life for 2 years. Or much longer, if you look at the collateral damage and the domino effect, etc., etc. Nothing happens in a vacuum. Life's great. But here's a second part of the same scam. Oh, I'll make sure I also remind you of how I blew up. I think that was the day I really snapped in court. And because then they made another thing. In my last voicemail message or whatever to David, I had said something, or an email, I had said, I think it was an email. And I said, David, you keep every single shred of evidence. There's not one single shred of evidence that backs you up. You're fuck out of luck, asshole. You fucking destroyed us. You helped rob all these people, and you're going to pay dearly. Luckily, him and Harry have massive assets. Delfino robbed me blind, but I can't sue her because she has no assets. The Trachtenbergs robbed me blind, but I can't sue them. They have no assets. Luckily, Harry and David, there's a very good chance they will pay partially for the many evil things they did and all the stuff they stole from me. So, the point of... so now to hammer it even more, the DA, Ann Gutman, and her assistant Jessica Wilson tried to lie to the judge again. Judge Gilbert Hong. This guy was a fucking scumbag. Now remember, he's an ex-prosecutor. He's their ex-teammate. Now, is that a fair fight? I'm in front of a judge. He's a referee who's good buddies with my opposing side. Yikes. That's not constitutional. Remember, if there is any bias in any way, it has to tilt towards defense. You know, they could appoint all judges who are ex-defense attorneys, but you could not legally appoint all judges who are ex-prosecutors, because then you'd be tilting the scales towards guilt over innocence, and you can't do that under our system of law. Tough luck. That's another thing I'm suing the fuck out of them for, because Giuliani and Bloomberg changed after 300 years in New York City. They changed everything, and people don't know because the newspapers are telling them about fucking Kim Kardashian's ass. So. Yeah, it's getting bigger. And that's why they tell people this shit. People are slowly realizing, wait, why are they drowning us in celebra garbage? And, just a moment, dear diary. So it was bad enough that my lawyer would not tell the truth about them lying about the order of protection for David. But then they were trying to make me sound like I was harassing him again. And like, this guy, Mr. Bordeaux, is just, a criminal who just won't stop. We can't rein this criminal in. Even while he's under prosecution, he's committing more crimes, just garbage. And so she says, Mr. Brodeur sent an email. And she tried to make it sound like I had blackmailed David Danzig. What my email said was something to the effect of, David, you've committed numerous crimes. We have all the emails, all the paper trail, all the proof of your crimes. Okay? The jig is up. I said, you'd be better off just coming clean, paying me $100,000 and saying I can never apologize enough, Christopher, for all the things I did wrong. Rather than you and I fight in court for years and it'll cost him $100,000 just in lawyer fees. Just cut your losses. Pay me for all the damage you did, and I'll never talk to you again, you piece of shit. Or we can battle forever. And I'm the kind of person who will battle forever. So the DA tries to spin that to the judge, claiming I tried to blackmail him, like pay me $100,000 or else I'll make your life miserable forever. Slight distortion. I said I would sue the fuck out of him in state Supreme Court. She left that part out because the judge might not be so favorable to her if she told him the truth. Now, when she said that and distorted it completely, I almost jumped out of my clothing, my skin. And my lawyer, I said to my lawyer, I said, you're gonna fucking rebut that, right? Are you gonna let me fucking rebut that? Are you gonna let me rebut that? He's like, yeah, don't worry, just calm down. Like, no. Are you going to rebut that? He's like, Your Honor, we disagree. It's like, no. She just flat out lied. She just lied. She's holding the printed out email in her hand. All my lawyer had to do is say, Your Honor, we believe Miss Gutman just lied to the court, which, as you know, is a federal crime, and we would ask her to show you that email right now. Could she read that email out loud, verbatim, for the record on the transcriptions, so we can have it recorded here as well as it's in print? Read that out loud, word for word, to the judge. He could have done that. He could have said, Your Honor, let's show you a thing. She just lied to the court. You cannot allow lawyers to lie to the court. You can't. It destroys the entire purpose of having courts. We might as well fire you all and just fucking get rid of this entire legal system and go back to beating each other with rocks. Okay? But the very email in her hand proved irrefutably she had just deceived the judge in order to threaten me and make me look bad. And what? And remember, their threats aren't trash talk. When they threaten me, they end up literally torturing me and stealing my money. There's no threat with these people. It's totally credible since they've already beaten and tortured me and fucking violated all my rights over and over again. They've already broken the law thousands of times, so it's not a threat. They come through. It's a promise. My lawyer refused. He refused completely to do his job by federal law. I flipped out. At that point, my blood was boiling so much. Because remember, she's holding in her hand proof that she's a federal criminal. She's holding the smoking gun. And this is only one of a zillion, but she's holding the smoking gun in her hand. She should go to prison right now. The judge could reprimand her and punish her right there. And my lawyer refused. Because you have to remember, one of the zillion dirty secrets they don't tell you. And my lawyer's never been willing to say this to me, even though I know it's true. He can't do his job. Because if he does his job, he injures his relationship with his adversaries. And remember, the lawyers all have a great relationship with each other because they work together every day. They don't give a fuck what happens to us niggers. If we go to jail falsely, whatever, it's all a game. Because remember, no matter what happens to us little people, the lawyers still get paid. No, my lawyers don't get any punishment if they lose. They don't get any bonuses if they win. They lose 95% of their cases automatically. All public defenders do, because almost every case is pled guilty. Even innocent people every day plead guilty because the system is gamed. The whole system is tilted. It's not even remotely fair. It's not remotely legal. And so these lawyers lose every time. So they don't really care. It's better for them to maintain a good relationship with the DA and vice versa. It's better for them to all stick together because they have to work together for the rest of their lives, where they're only going to see these defendants maybe a couple times or maybe for a year or whatever. You understand? We're temporary garbage. And so my lawyer has to lie to protect the DA. Do you see? To make his own job easier. If he ever needs information from them, their adversaries, they're going to make his life harder. And he doesn't need that. He doesn't care if innocent people go to jail. You understand? My own lawyers don't care if innocent people go to jail. They fuck me over in almost every situation, always. It's outrageous. I could do hundreds of thousands of hours of diaries. In fact, they commit so many crimes that I can't even log them all. It's not even possible. There's literally over 200,000 crimes they've done to me that I can't even remember now because I can only remember a few 100,000. It's hard to juggle that many facts and that many tales. Now, I took lots of notes over the year. When things happened to me over the years, I would take notes as often as possible in court, after each day in court and stuff. So hopefully a lot of that stuff is still in print somewhere. Or even if I have cheat sheets with just like some crib notes, I'd go, oh, that's right. Remember when the judge did that? Oh, remember when the lawyer did that? I'd need something to trigger it because my memory is fucking packed with more information than any humans in history. It's a drag. But like even in this case, I mean, I'm not telling you, all right, when they arrested me, what happened at the arrest? What did the cops do? I spent 2 days in central booking. I got in front of a judge. What happened? All kinds of sleazy acts I'm leaving out in just these 3 arrests of my 28-ish arrests. Okay, there's too many facts. With just any one arrest, I can do 8,000 hours of recording because the details are shocking. I mean, all kinds of details. But I'm going to try and do some of them in separate things, like jail diaries. It tells you some of the horrors of jail and the specifics that you wouldn't know. It's not like Hollywood. And, ouch, why is this thing fucking so hot? Sorry, the laptop is smoking in a bad way. For instance, in one of the 3 arrests, I think, or was it the Adam Lisberg case? See, this is the problem when they arrest me too much. Remember, I've never had 5 pending cases at the same time. That's too much to juggle. 5 separate criminal prosecutions in 2 different boroughs with 3 alleged different victims. All lied using the same exact tricks. Amazing. Same tricks that everybody has always used. I always get arrested the same way, the same dirty tricks, and it never fails. And their philosophy is, well, look at him. He must be guilty because he keeps doing this, right? If somebody got arrested 28 times for burglary, even if they won all 28 times, you go like, all right, something's up. You don't get arrested 28 times for burglary unless you're doing something fucked up. Exactly. But if you're a whistleblower, they wouldn't arrest you less than 1 billion times. I'm actually lucky that – actually, I'm not. The only reason they don't arrest me more often is because most of my arrests backfire, and it turns me into a martyr. So it's not like I'm lucky that they don't arrest me more often. It's partially my own philosophy. I'm not afraid to go to jail. If I was, they might arrest me more often. They might throw me in jail more often. I'm not afraid to go to jail. They know that. I get a lot of work done in jail. They do torture me and everything else like that, but they torture me outside of jail too. So what's the difference? Except in jail, you get free health care, free food, free cable TV. Everything's free. You sleep until 2. Jail is in most ways much better than the real world. Everything's free. Come on, you can get free mail. You get free phone calls. Come on, people, wake up. Spark a joint in public and go to jail. If you need an operation, if you ever need any serious operation, go to jail for a year. Just go rob a bank. Plead guilty, get a year in jail, and then they have to pay for all of your heart transplants, everything, anything you need. That's not elective surgery. Go rob a bank. You don't need a gun. Just walk in and say, "I have a bomb. Give me all your money," or just walk in and say, "I am going to kill everyone. Give me your money," and they'll arrest you. And then you just make a deal in the next couple of months to the DA. Say, "Listen, I want to plead guilty. And what are you going to offer me?" And they'll be like, "Well, it's your first arrest for bank robbery. You don't have any other convictions. 6 months." And you'd be like, "Okay." Or you could say, 6 months, I need the heart transplant. I mean, that liver transplant. Can I get 12 months? And they go, "What? You want more time?" But that's not the way. Usually they'll offer you, they'll make a shitty offer first. So they might say 2 years. You'd be like, "Fuck that, yo, I'm not doing 2 years in jail. Fuck that. No, you don't take me to trial and prove it, asshole." Well, that's another fascinating fact I should interrupt and tell you, because when I finally do the diary of my 2005 arrests, there's going to be that's a 5,000 parter. So I'm going to end up leaving out almost everything. So I might as well include this while I have the memory of it. Fascinating thing about plea deals. Now remember, almost every arrest in America goes down to a plea deal because it's too easy. You arrest somebody, even if they're innocent, it's going to take them 2 years to prove they're innocent. They're going to have to come back to court for 2 years, and you're going to hold their bail money for 2 years collecting interest off of it. That's illegal too. And if you work 9 to 5, well, you have to take all this time off from work to go to court month after month after month after month. That's one of the ways they pressure you. And so it comes down to this. You're innocent, but do you really want to spend 2-3 years fighting it? Why don't you just say you're guilty and we'll let you go home? No punishment of any kind. And the people go, you mean I don't have to come back ever again? If I just say I'm guilty, I won't get punished, have to pay any fines? No, there'll be no punishment. You just say you're guilty and we'll let you go. And millions of people go, but I'm innocent. They're like, well, come back for 3 years. And like, all right. Guilty, Your Honor. Okay. Time served. Goodbye. And you have a criminal record. The DA has a notch in their belt, and no justice was served. Here's a fascinating thing. Now, in your cases, most people don't know this. And most people wouldn't guess this. When you make a plea deal, like in most of my cases, they never offered me a plea deal. That's your first smoking gun that these are all corrupt. That right there could get them busted. Because everyone would say, you got a guy charged with speech. He's not charged with littering. He's not charged with shoving anybody or pushing anybody or spitting on anybody. He's charged with speech, critical speech. Misdemeanors. And remember, it would always be, this guy has no priors. He's got no convictions of any kind. My first conviction took him 15 years to get, and they cheated it. No, it took him like 13. Well, they kept losing year after year after year. I kicked their ass every single time. Every one time they'd arrest me, I'd take them, I'd take it to trial, and I'd destroy them. Every single time they'd arrest me, I'd take it to trial, they'd destroy them. Take it to trial, destroy them. Take it to trial, destroy them. Or a reporter would write about it, they'd drop the charges. A reporter might write about it, they would drop the charges. That's how serious the arrests are. The arrest was so serious that when a reporter wrote about it, they dropped the charges that night. Pretty serious, these arrests. These must be legitimate. They must be. And that should have tipped everybody off right there. But humans aren't very smart. And most people, even my friends, still think I'm guilty of the couple things they fakely convicted. Even after my first conviction was thrown out as completely false by judges above the mayor's head, everyone still says, well, you got those other convictions. It's like, oh my God, you're so fucking retarded. So with the... they almost never offered me plea deals. Now it's like, okay, they offer plea deals to murderers and rapists and burglars and drug dealers and everyone. But they don't offer plea deals to the guy charged with misdemeanor speech. Why would that be? Think a little bit. Why would... because, remember, they never intend to win any of my cases. They always would lose. But they would tie me up and slow me down for 2.5 years. Which is illegal as well. They should be bringing me to trial in under a year. But they can do whatever they want. Because they're just going to pay the damages with your stolen tax dollars, suckers. And what are you going to do about it? I have a hunch. I think you're going to do nothing. Just like Thomas Jefferson says in the Declaration of Independence. You ain't going to do nothing but fucking bend over. I'm paraphrasing it, but read it. It's like in the first third of the Declaration of Independence, where he says it. He says, you people are chumps. Humans have always been chumps, and they're always going to be chumps who will never stand up for themselves. All history hath shown is how it begins. So, they never offer me plea deals. Isn't that peculiar? Now, obviously, I wouldn't take the plea deal, but that's not why they don't offer it, because they don't want any quick resolution of the case. Their job is to drag it out and slow this guy down like molasses. Let's fucking slow this motherfucker down. And ruin his life. That's why they created the Speedy Trial Clause, Sixth Amendment. You have the right to a speedy trial. Because, right, you could charge somebody, and if you wanted to, if you were the government, you could take any person who criticizes you, arrest them for child molestation, and then let them clear their name 20 years from now. Well, until then, for 20 years, they're labeled in society as a child molester. You see? Classic political assassination and character assassination. Hit job. And that's why they created the Sixth Amendment Speedy Trial Clause. They said, if you're innocent or guilty, you got a right to fucking prove it quickly. But you don't. It's a lie. They don't obey any of the constitutional laws. Don't get me started. But the newspapers would rather talk about where Kim Kardashian had lunch. So, and you know why that is. Kill a journalist. That's not a threat either. Telling everyone to kill a journalist. You're right. Just like saying kill your enemies. Guy breaks into your house and robs you.
you have a right to kill him. Well, if a journalist helps elect crooked politicians who rob you, isn't that almost the same fucking thing? And their crimes do kill people every day, whether it's the medical profession, our lack of health care, everything else like that. People are dying every day because of the lies of journalists, both directly and indirectly, both actively and passively. Anyone in America has the right to murder journalists every day. I'm just saying, under current laws. In fact, remember, Bush said you can kill your enemies even if you can't prove your enemies did anything, but under the theory that you think they might someday do something bad to you. That was the whole legal argument for Iraq. They didn't do anything to us. We don't have any evidence they did anything to us, but we think maybe someday they will. So we can murder them all. And all the courts, all the reporters, all the editors, all the media goons, all the politicians said that is legally sound. Cool. Just remember that, citizens. You have the right to preemptive strikes. You can kill any politician, any journalist, any government official if you think they may someday do something to you. Not bad, huh? But the media doesn't want you to know that. They want you to forget about that little Iraq war and the legal principles behind it. So where were we? I hope we finished the David Danzig thing. So with the plea deals, although let me digress one moment and back up and transgress, or whatever the fuck I'm saying here. With the David Danzig thing, when my lawyer wouldn't say to me that time, I flipped out. The judge wouldn't allow me to defend myself. And I said, I have a right to due process. I have a right to defend. You see, my lawyer is not speaking in my defense. That is a crime. You're supposed to be the referee. And he had the court officers take me out of the courtroom, handcuff me, and take me out into a back room. And they said, listen, when you go back up there, you go shut up. I was like, no, I have a right to speak in my own defense. The judge literally cannot legally stop me from speaking. But almost every judge in the past has. And every judge in the future will. I've only had like a couple judges who allowed me to speak. They don't want the defendants to speak. And they can't say it's for their own protection. No, because what they would do is they would say, I want you to, before you speak, Mr. Jones, I want you to understand that everything you say is being recorded here by the stenographer and can be used against you by the people. Do you understand that? He would then say, yes, I do. And they'd be like, okay, do you still want to say something to the court? Like, yes. Now, all the judges are ex-DAs now for the first time in history because of Giuliani and Bloomberg. They're all ex-prosecutors, meaning they already have an agenda. They're already criminals. All the judges are already sleazebags who are part of the system, this fucking fake legal system. And they know they don't want Mr. Jones to speak in his defense. So they just fucking violate the law and block him. Because he's going to probably say something that's a lot more accurate than any of the lawyers since it's his fucking life and he's the only one who knows the fucking facts who's in that courtroom. The whole system is gamed and cheated. And, the judge says, you have no right to speak. And I said, I do, First Amendment. I understand. Nope, not allowed to speak. Really, really corrupt. And the sad thing is, no matter what I do in lawsuits I get stuff, even with the RICO, I can't touch the judges. I may be able to fuck up the DA quite a bit. Why the fuck is that there? I may be able to fuck up the DA royally. But, it's even possible I could, it's theoretically possible I could possibly get them in jail. Unlikely. But judges can't touch them. It's totally illegal, but there's only one way to get to a judge. Through another judge. And no judge is going to allow you to sue judges. You see? It's complete organized crime. It really is, literally. I didn't even finish my point about the plea deal yet. Didn't even get to my point about the plea deal. One amazing secret about plea deals. There's a lot, but with the plea deals, here's something that most people don't know, and in my cases, it was pretty amazing because the law, as it is now what they do is they offer almost everybody a plea deal. It's like, all right, you murdered this little girl, but do you want a deal? Because we have to spend a lot of time and money to prove it. And they might say, our evidence isn't that good. They never found her body. They just found her bloody dress. It's going to be harder to win our case. We don't have all the evidence. This case, we could possibly lose this at trial. So let's see if they want to cut a deal. You know what I mean? If their position's not that strong, and it often isn't, they'll say, let's cut a deal. Or sometimes they'll offer a plea deal for other reasons, like time and money. And so they might say to the murderer, they say, we think you killed little Sally Jones, but we're willing to offer you a deal. 30 years, no death penalty. You'll do 30 years in jail. And then the guy might go, well, I did kill her, but they don't have much evidence. Should I take my chance at trial? It's like, well, I spent most of my life in jail. It's not so bad. I'll be playing cards all day. 20 years. And the DA might go, 25. And they go, okay, it's a deal. And then he goes in front of the judge, I plead guilty. And that's it. He plead guilty for 25 years in jail. It's all deal making. And most of the time it's dirty. But, there are some legitimate reasons why you would do plea deals. A lot of people say, well, plea deals should not be allowed. There should be no more plea deals. Either prove the person guilty or don't in a trial. But that can be very expensive, and jurors and blah, 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 blah. But one of the things, the principles of the law, they say is, now, this is open. Now, everyone knows this. If that guy says, no, fuck you, I'm going to go to trial, and I'm going to fucking beat these charges about me killing little Sally Jones, even if he's guilty, He might say, yeah, I'm guilty, but they don't got shit on me. They don't have enough fucking evidence because I hid that body well, and I made sure I cleaned everything. So he might take his chances and go to trial. Now, if you go to trial, whether you're innocent or guilty, and you get convicted, they're going to fucking punish you like a motherfucker. Because they're going to say, you should have fucking listened to us when we offered you a deal, Vito. You didn't. You wasted our time. We had to go to trial and fucking prove our shit. Now we're really fucking mad at you. And we're going to fucking teach you a lesson for wasting the court's time. They can't. By law, they can't do that. That's what they do every minute of every day. And it's an open secret. But very few people know that you can't actually legally do that. Because the argument is the punishment if you're convicted in a trial cannot be that much more severe than the punishment you were offered if you pled guilty. Do you understand? Do you follow me? If you plead guilty, cut a deal with them. And they say, we'll give you 20 years. You're facing the death penalty. We're going to give you 20 years. You plead guilty. And you plead guilty. But then, or if you go to trial and get convicted and lose, they can't then say, well, now we're hitting you with fucking 150 years. Because to go from 25 years to 150 years is a pretty big difference. And it effectively, and this is why it's illegal, it essentially and effectively shows that you are, or they are rather, punishing you extra simply because you exercised your constitutional right to a trial. You see why that's illegal? It's unfair. They are penalizing people for obeying the law. You can't do that. You can't get revenge against somebody because we went to trial. It's my right to go to trial, you fucking assholes. You can't punish me. You can punish me a little tiny bit more because you were cutting me a deal. You were being a real nice guy and you were going to offer me a deal. But I decided to exercise my constitutional right to a trial to prove my innocence. And I lost. And so now you get to sentence me. The DA is going to say, Your Honor, we think you should get 5 million years in jail. And the judge might go, I agree with you. Or I'll give him 150. Or whatever. But the DA can't ask for anything much more severe because then it's like he's punishing you for exercising your constitutional rights. It's retaliation. And it's illegal. So in my cases, it's amazing. They gave me 6 in the 2000. I'm finishing about the 2005 cases. This is some secrets about plea deals. In 2005, they arrested me 3 times, all on completely hilariously fictional charges. But at the first, they cheated everything. I mean, they took them out of sequence to cheat. The fucking Sixth Amendment, they cheated everything. I'm not joking. They cheated everything. I've never seen. I was even surprised. Remember, they had cheated in all my trials. But in the 2005 cases, which went to trial in 2006. They took the cheating, no joke. They took the cheating up like 90%. I every minute of every day it was just a jaw dropper. It's like, whoa, this is the first time you're using a new statute that's not legal. Whoa, you guys have never come close to doing anything that illegal. Oh my God, I've never seen anything like it. They really did. They took the corruption about 90% up. Unfucking believable. And so they blazingly cheated the first trial. I mean, just every inch of it was fake. I'd never seen anything that fake in all my previous trials, in all my previous cases. And in all cases I've monitored in history. Never seen anything like the cheating they did in 2005. Because you have to remember, we now had the most dangerous criminal in human history, Michael Bloomberg, Super Hitler, Super Stalin, in charge of everything. And remember, if he was just the mayor, he'd be the most powerful man on earth. But he was also one of the richest men on earth. So you put those two together, and you've got super duper Hitler. And they cheated everything. And then all the reporters cheated. And I was like, oh my God, all the reporters who are friends of mine are lying too. Everyone's lying. Oh my God. It was so scary and so chilling. I was like, wow, this is like the end of the world. The Constitution doesn't even remotely exist anymore. And don't get me started about all the little things they did. Maybe we'll hit on that in those diaries. But the first one, they cheated the trial up and down. The second one, they cheated the trial up and down. It was mind-blowing. And then there was the third case, and I was ready to go to trial with that too. But my fiancée at the time, Jessica Delfino, she said, you have to plead guilty. My lawyer was Ron Kuby, piece of shit, famous civil rights lawyer who choked after like 2 court dates. He pussied out because he realized, oh my God, I'm taking on Bloomberg, the most dangerous motherfucker in history. What am I, stupid? I'm going to lose my job at WABC Radio. This is too much. I'm in over my head. And he lied to the judge and got out of there. And everyone bailed on me. Everyone, including my girlfriend and my fiancée. And so I was forced to take a plea deal. And this is what's amazing here. Check this out. So this was in the Ben Smith case. Ben Smith is a reporter, sleazebag for Politico and the New York Observer. His bosses was a drinking buddy of Mike Bloomberg's, and so all of his articles were about how Mike Bloomberg is the greatest mayor of all time. And Ben Smith would just lie to his customers every day, which is felony fraud. And Ben Smith is literally a murderer. He's literally a mass murderer, just like Hitler. Didn't kill a single person, but his policies killed a lot of people. And I wanted to fucking get Ben Smith on the witness stand and everything like that, but I had everyone fucking bailing on me at the same time. And it was a fucking super duper nightmare. They cheat. Remember, oh man, I just can't list the tens of thousands of things they cheated, like never before. Remember, I'm public enemy number 1, so it stands to reason that they would obviously, if you're going to cheat for anybody, it's going to be me more than ever in history. I took a deal. I pled guilty. And I pled guilty. This is amazing. Now, in the first case, they gave me 6 months for misdemeanor speech. 6 months. Even people who thought I was guilty said, 6 months in jail for misdemeanor speech? Couldn't you give him community service and make him clean parks? The guy's convicted of misdemeanor speech, and you're giving him 6 months in jail? Even if I thought he deserved it, that's a waste of my fucking tax dollars. This guy's getting 3 meals a day for 6 months. What the fuck is that? For speech? For misdemeanor speech? Are you serious? Everyone was shocked. Enemies of mine and allies. Everyone. Now, you have to remember, I had already warned everybody about this for years. But everybody thought I was exaggerating. Then they all started realizing, oh my God, he's right. This was a hit job. This was a hit job.
No, you think?
Then the second trial, hits me with 6 months in jail for misdemeanor speech. Oh, wait, even worse. This time it was attempted harassment of City Hall. Attempted harassment. No one had ever even heard of attempted harassment. The judge can't even explain it or define attempted harassment. Is attempted harassment where you pick up the phone and you start to dial your ex-wife? But then you hang up? Is that attempted harassment? No one knows. I asked the judge to explain it. She refused. Which, if that was the only thing she did wrong, the conviction would be thrown out. Unbelievable. It's sad. It's 5 years later, and my appeals are sitting on a shelf. The government has refused to give me lawyers, even though I have to by law. Luckily, my RICO suits I'm filing that I filed already address that, so it helps. It might help a little bit, but unbelievable, unfucking believable. So, and that's one of the zillion things I have to do. I have to keep fucking haranguing lawyers and trying to find somebody who's an 18B lawyer who will take it for $75 an hour. The appeals. The appeal court said, we'll let you go find your own lawyer. It's like, no, you by law. That's not even a secret. By law, everyone knows it. It's the whole foundation of the system. You have to find me a lawyer. Now, you don't have to find me a gold star lawyer, but you have to find me a lawyer to do the appeals. And it has to be a lawyer who listens to me, who's fucking competent by law. And they just said, well, we're not gonna. So what are you gonna do about it, asshole? What you gonna do? Bring it on. You want to talk to guys with guns? Super Nazis. Because remember, the Nazis believed in due process much more than America does. We're about to end this. Let's hope this. Oh, man, this motherfucker. And did I finish? I would kind of like to finish my point before I chop it. No, I'm not going to finish it. We're going to finish the plea bargain story in one moment. End of part 9.